What is it with me and Netflix animated short films about grief? Well, we're going to get into this and talk about the 2020 Netflix animated short film written and directed by Frank E. Abney III. It is called Canvas. Listen, I loved this movie for so many reasons, and I'm going to get into that right now. So first and foremost, I'm J.Nicole, the Grief Bully, and I want to continue to bring you these movie reviews where grief shows up on the big screen. And in this 2020 Netflix short that just so happened to be initially released on my birthday, December the 11th, 2020, was just a great film overall. It was just written well. It touched on a lot of great points. One of the biggest things that it showed me, and I hope that it shows you, is this. Grief comes in so many different forms. It's something that we always speak about. But speaking about the many different ages that it impacts, and then in that age gap, how much learning and comfort and support can be offered that we might often overlook. So in this film, it was an older grandfather. He was wheelchair bound. He is experiencing grief and loss, and you can put the pieces together and it looks like he's dealing with the loss of his wife. So then his granddaughter and his daughter are in the film as well. He spends time with his granddaughter, who eventually becomes his inspiration to find his way back to his passion of painting. I'm not trying to do a spoiler alert here. The film is just 9 minutes, but I just want to let you know that it showed that perspective of how an elderly person experiences grief and loss and pain just as much as young folks. I think sometimes it gets, I don't want to say overlooked, but we think that because older people have lived their lives so long that there's no issues and they can accept it easier. But it was obvious here that the grandfather was really struggling to cope and to move through his grief. There was a closet that it still visibly had clothes of the deceased loved one there. And there was just so many things like that going on. And then he's spending time with his younger granddaughter and he's getting that inspiration from her. She's kind of challenging him, but not even knowing that she's challenging him. And that's something that I really loved about the film. And then at the very end, I'm not going to tell you about the very end. I want you to go check out the film and make sure you come back and let me know what you thought. But again, I want to continue to just talk about these movies. And this one, guys, I am going to tell you, meant so much more to me because it was depicting a family of color, and it was written by a man of color. And I think that that's one of the main reasons, I know, that I started the Grief Bully and the Grief Bully podcast and everything I'm doing, because I feel like in communities of color, we do not highlight and talk about this issue of grief. However, we're plagued with it so much and so often and frequently. So shout out to you, Frank E. Abney III. I thoroughly enjoyed it, King. Continue to bring us more films like this. Continue to touch on these important subjects that we need to hear about. Guys, hit that subscribe button for me. Drop a comment. Let me know what you thought. I want to continue to bring you these movies where grief shows up on a big screen. Love and light. Peace.